Welcome back, baseball fans. This is a eliminating the Chicago White Sox video. They had a fun ride for the season, ups and downs, and when it was all over with, they split 44 games. A long season, extending series to the maximum. The series ended by playing the Orioles in the second and third rounds in different separate series. They won one 3-2. They lost the next one 2-0. Ultimately 22-22. Fabulous year. Third place finish ahead of a fourth place Milwaukee team. So this division seems to be in good hands moving forward, along with the Twins and the Royals. When we look at this team, we got to start with Wilbur Wood. Wilbur Wood 9-5, 314. But the complete games, 13 complete games for this guy. Magnificent. 131 innings in 44 games. 13 complete games and they played 44. That means, yeah, I think he might have completed all of them except maybe one. Anyway, huge year for him. Interesting team, much like the other Chicago team. The Cubs was supposed to have good starting pitching and bad bullpen. It was just the opposite for the Cubs, and similarly with the White Sox. The bullpen was pretty good. Forster, Osinski, Lemons, Humphrey, the top 4 ERAs on the staff, and then you see the rotation. Wood, Bradley was okay. He pitched really courageously against the Orioles, but Bonson and Edmondson struggled. The 3.72 ERA was an improvement over last year. Last year they were 9-22 and were in the top 10 picking in the draft. The offense regressed. Don Young hit 321 in he didn't start most of the year. He was platooning early on. They flat out just gave him the job. He was the only guy to hit 300 at 321, batting ninth. And then everybody else is below 260, including some nice bats. The Cepeda bat, the Aparicio, Melton, Joseph, and May. All those guys should have hit better than that. They didn't. Carlos May had a nice finish with 12 homers and 32 RBIs with a 229 average. Melton had a dozen homers as well. You know, ups and downs was the key to the White Sox season. They had a lousy year last year, so they're going to have to put 2 good years together if they want to improve. And let's take a look now at your White Sox here as we open up their deck and say goodbye to the 69 players for the Chi Sox. And what's interesting here, a little nugget, is that they're in the Dick Allen sweepstakes. Dick Allen's card will be up with the Phillies, and he could go to either the team he played for in 70, 71, and 72 would be the Cardinals, the Dodgers, and the White Sox. So I don't know where Dick Allen's going to wind up next year. So these are the 8 cards from 69 that have to either be improved or retired. But let's see who's coming back. And we look at that. Looks like we have the 7 and 5 distribution. Yes, we do. The same distribution most teams have, 7 hitters and 5 pitchers. This is what I prefer. That's a balance, so you're not short in either pitching or hitting. Look at this catcher they're bringing back. Dwayne Josephson, a 1970 card that hit 316. And then Cepeda's coming back. Remember, he was for the Braves, but he was acquired in the trade that sent Tommy John and Dusty Baker to their new teams. So it's a great start at catcher and first. And Melton can slug it at third. Jim LaFay can play second, as can Bobby Knoop. And Aparicio can play short. So your infield is pretty much set. You've got catcher first in your infield set, and you got one outfielder, Walt Williams. So catcher first, the middle infield, and Walt Williams. And as far as pitchers go, not bad. Oh, you got all your lefties. So Wood, Bradley in the 2-hole. Bonson can pitch on 3 days rest as well. So that's a great start. Pretty good. Bradley, 296 ERA there. Bonson was a White Sox as well. And then you have the 2 lefties in the bullpen, Forster and Lemons. So you already have your 3 lefties. That's half the battle, and you have 3 guys who put you on 3 days rest. So I wouldn't really prioritize pitching that much. I'd work on making sure you improve your offense significantly. So let's see what the White Sox are going to do with those 8 1969 players. All right, folks, let's see what the White Sox are going to do with those 869 players, starting with Carlos May. Carlos had a nice year in 1969, and let's see what happens to him as we move into the 1970s. Corner outfielder, Kenny lefties, which is always nice. He's an all-star in 69. He's an all-star again in 72 with a big year, 308. Got MVP votes, so Carlos is definitely coming back to the White Sox. Perfect start here, getting an all-star with a keeper. $10,000 for Carlos May. Next guy, Jim Pagliarone. Finally get to say goodbye to Jim. A career that started in 1955. We might take a minute here and check this out. He had a big year last year when we put him on the Dodgers, and the Dodgers moved him in the trade for Tommy John. Had a nice year platooning here. 17 years old and 55 for the Red Sox. Then he went back to the minors. Red Sox, Pirates, Oakland in 69, and the Seattle Pilots in 69. The card we have shows 137 at-bats for the plate appearances for the Seattle Pilots, which I think, well, it's a total, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's the total card, but they show him with a Seattle Pilots card in 1969, and that'll do it. He's retired. His career's over. It doesn't advance into 1970. Thank you, Jim Pagliarone, for making the carryover league fun the last 2 years. I'd never heard of that guy. And he passed away in 2010 at the age of 72. That's kind of nice to learn about these guys when they do big things in your league. Russ Snyder is the next player. Come up in 59 with the Orioles. Plays through to 70. And he gives you a similar performance as the one he has. Well, what screams here is waiver. Yeah, a waiver player, particularly when he's not connected to the White Sox in either year. So the good news for Russ is that I didn't kick him out of the league as a retiree. He's on waivers, so he can seek work elsewhere. Next up, Al Weiss. Made the final out of the White Sox season. Forced into action because of the injury to Orlando Cepeda. Unfortunately for Al, he made the final out. Played with the Mets through age 33 in the 71 season. And known for the glove, not the stick. Also qualifies for waivers, I think. I can check this. Let's check out the 70 Mets by looking at Gary's roster page at superds.tripod.com/somrosters.html. Let's look at the 70 reprint season we have here and see if Strat-O-Matic printed his New York Met card. And we look to the Mets in 70. Uh-oh. They might not have printed it. He's not listed. He'll have to be an extra player. New York Mets. There he is in the fine print. You probably can't see it because it's really small. But he is an extra player, which means we have the card. It's for Sella, Jorgensen, Singleton, and Weiss. So Weiss qualifies for waivers. Someone will be looking for a defensive backup somewhere, so we'll keep him on waivers. Next up, Don Young. Interesting card. Led this team in hitting by 60 points over the next best player, which is very weird. Don Young, here he is. Very short bio here. There it is. He, 19 years old and 65, had a cup of coffee, down in the minor leagues. The expansion year when, 69, the league goes from 20 to 24 teams. You see a lot of quadruple A players, somewhere between triple A and the majors, circulating through baseball. At age 23, he gets some playing time for the Cubs, and then that's it. He doesn't go beyond that. But this 239 hitting card hit 326 this year. and was 60 points better than the next closest White Sox. But Don Young's career is over after 1969. So, after the hot start with Carlos May, it's been kind of a downer. 2 waivers and 2 retires. So only Carlos May is going to help the offense that we talked about. So maybe they're going to have to find some rookies and or trade for Bill Milton. Not Bill Milton. And or trade for Dick Allen. All right, the next card, Paul Edmondson. And we mentioned this a couple times, that he tragically died after his 1969 season. And there is Paul. He died, here it is, February 13th, a day after his 27th birthday. Look at that. 27 and a day in Santa Barbara. He died in a car accident. And the White Sox were hoping he'd pitch for them in 1970. And so he has just that 1 year, 1-6, and I just played this guy's card, and he went 3-6, and he had a shutout against the Orioles and Mike Cuellar. So there you go. That's the silver lining for Paul Edmondson. It's definitely fun having him in the league, and it worked out for him and the White Sox in this short sample. Unfortunately, the story will end there. So the White Sox have 3 retirees now, so they're going to have to make a call in the offseason to fix their roster. They can't go into the draft this way. Dan Osinski. I hope he contributes to 1970. He was with the White Sox in 69, but he only pitched 3 innings in 70. Another retiree. This is not working out for the White Sox. This might be what I was saying before, how this was supposed to be a 2-team division. Twins-Royals, with the Brewers and White Sox struggling. The White Sox clearly overachieved, and the struggle is that the reinforcements aren't there. That's 6 guys who can't help this team moving forward. That's not good. And lastly, Bob Humphreys. He has 1 more year left in 1970. And he pitches 52 innings total for the Senators and the Brewers. It's good, but we need to make sure his card is there. If they didn't print his card, it's really going to hurt this team. This is a capable reliever. So let's take a look at Bob Humphreys in 70, see if they made a Washington Senators or Milwaukee Brewers card. So we'll go to American League. We'll start with Milwaukee. We're looking for a pitcher, Bob Humphreys. It's not there. Then we'll go to the Washington Senators. Bob Humphreys. And he's not there. And that's not good. Now let's go to the extra players. Milwaukee. Bob Humphreys. All right, so they made his Milwaukee card. I'm just going to check, make sure they didn't make 2 cards. They probably didn't. No, they didn't. All right, so they made the Milwaukee portion of the card. And really, they probably just added the extra inning there. Doesn't matter. It's going to be a decent card. Either 1.29 or 137 whip. So Humphreys' card will come back. And you know what? I'm going to make him a keeper. It's not flashy, but you need 4 keepers. And with only 2 guys to keep, and they're going to have to trade some retired guys and acquire keepers from other organizations who have too many. I think the Texas Rangers might be a trade partner. Let me see if I can scroll down to Texas. Yeah, Texas Rangers were that team that had 7 keepers. So the way that the teams would talk is that the White Sox would trade some of the guys they kept who were better than some of the players that the Rangers have kept. Let me see if I can find an example. Let's say Orlando Cepeda. 1970 Cepeda could be traded for Mike Epstein. You see Mike Epstein is a keeper here. So this way, the Rangers would have Cepeda on their team, and they would lose a keeper, and they would be down to like fewer keepers, and that would mean that the White Sox would be missing Cepeda, but they would keep Carlos May Epstein, Bob Humphreys. And the other portion of the trade would simply be sending a retired player and another active player off the trading like one of these retired players to the Rangers, who only have one retired player. That's how you balance that trade out. So again, it's way too early to project that far, but it clearly shows that the White Sox are going to need some help in the off season before the draft begins. Hope you've been enjoying these eliminating videos. Thanks for checking them out. We'll see you next time.